Hello folks, R1 here. I've got a battle for you, an arcade battle actually, on the jungle map. I'm going to take out a couple of the big cats, the Panther D and the Tiger H1. Both of these are the introduction to the Tiger and Panther line respectively. At this point in time I had them about half upgraded for either tank. And they're performing reasonably well at this point. I've noticed something interesting about the Panther. It really doesn't have a lot of options as far as ammunition. But the ammunition that it does sport is pretty good. It's a very high penetration value ammunition. And it does the job on punching nice round holes through enemy tanks. So we're going to give that a whirl on the jungle map. I think that this map actually plays well to the German strengths. I've heard a lot of comments lately that the German tanks are at an extreme disadvantage right now in War Thunder, and I really have been trying to put more of a focus on playing them to determine if that's the truth. And they do have a tendency to get their cannons damaged, I think, a little bit easier than some of the other tanks in War Thunder, particularly with the American line now in play. Some of their tanks seem to be particularly good at taking out other tanks' guns. But, to me, that means that we have to play the German tanks a little bit more historically correctly, if you will. The Panther tanks and Tiger tanks of World War II, while at times in history they could just form a strong defensive line and be pretty much untouchable, as the war progressed, they had to use superior tactics and strategy. They had to get in positions where they could leverage the accuracy and range of their long 88s. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I've moved around into a flanking position on the cap point. There's a T-44 there. Has no idea I'm here. I'm going to put 2 rounds into him, and we'll pick up a kill assist on that. I don't know what's up with this Tiger tank right now. He's driven in this position and is just laying there twitching. So we'll put one through the hatch on his turret and make sure that most of his crew is dead. He's not moving, so we're going to go for a finishing shot if I can hit his ammo rack. And there he goes. Tiger burning bright. We've got some Russian NPC tanks up on the cap point now. I'm going to put a shot into them. And this is one of the minor weaknesses of the Panther. It's got a relatively slow reload time for a medium tank. If it had reloaded just a little bit quicker, say with the same rapidity that a Sherman would, I probably could have slapped another shot into the medium as well. But unfortunately he was able to get over the rim of the hill before I could finish him off. Now I'm going to push my advantage, and here I'm breaking my own prerequisites for this match. I'm pushing forward when I should have hung back, but I wanted a shot on this Tiger. Unfortunately, my cannon barrel drifts up at the last second and I miss his ammo rack, which is unfortunate. And now my butt's kind of hanging out up here. I pushed forward too far. I have a rather aggressive play style, so to hang back and take flanking, sniping shots is a little difficult for me to stick with sometimes. And I'm taking fire from somewhere, and I need to figure out where. Oh, it's a Russian NPC tank. Well, we'll put a shot into him, and he's going to blow up here in just a second. I'm thankful that wasn't a player tank. This position is a good position, but once people figure out that you're here, they can flank around behind you easily, so I'm a little concerned about that. And I'm going to move around and make sure that doesn't happen. And there's a tank right in front of me. I slapped the shot. Fortunately, it was another AI tank. I couldn't tell for a second whether it was a player or an AI. I'm glad it wasn't a player. They could probably have nailed me as I was coming around. Well, my flank appears to be clear at the moment, so I'm going to push around this outcropping of rock and see if I can get an angle on some of the other tanks I know are hanging back there. There's a Tiger 2. And I'm going to put a shot into the side of his turret, and another Tiger starts burning. We're having good luck setting Tigers on fire or hitting their ammo racks this round. But here's where I make my mistake. I don't have a shot on that tank on the other side of that ridge, so I push forward. Now I know by now that the Panther has a ridiculously bad reverse speed, and I should not have pushed as far away as I did from cover. And I get greedy. I see a Russian tank coming through, I get a good tank, or a good shot at his turret. The Panther's armor, well, sometimes it can save your life, but a lot of times they're going to punch straight on through, and he tore me up. And that was my own fault. I should have hung back a few more feet, back by the outcropping of rock, so that I could easily pull back into cover if my first shot didn't score a kill or a debilitating hit. So I have no choice now. I'm going to jump into my Tiger. Now, as I said, both of these tanks currently are about halfway through the upgrade process. And they're doing well, but they're not in peak form just yet. Now, for a while, I was wondering if the machine guns actually worked on some of these German tanks. Apparently they do, but only if you have a target within their field of fire. Because I had been hitting the machine gun button there for a few seconds before anything happened. And it wasn't until my gun actually got more trained on that aircraft that they actually started firing. I didn't get that kill or even an assist on it, which is unfortunate. I'm going to move forward again, angling for a flanking attack as I did before. And I see a Panther in the distance, but he's got a lot of cover between me and him. And I'm really not sure at this point if I'm going to be able to get a shot in on him or not. Now he's got some boulders. I had one moment of opportunity. I slap in a shot. I don't do much. But I do manage to do some damage. And that's fortunate. I don't get the kill on him, but I will pick up the kill assist. Now, I was kind of in this match to prove or disprove that theory that German tanks are at a disadvantage now, but it appears that most of my opponents in this arcade match are going to be German tanks. So it's not really helping my case one way or the other here. Now there's a Russian IS-2, and we'll put a shot right through his turret and mess him up pretty well. Looks like I killed most of his turret crew. He is going to wisely back off, and there's a Panzer IV. I can just barely get a shot. Wow, that was a good solid hit on that Panzer IV. All right, well, the Tiger also excels at long-range sniping, and so far we've managed to put its capabilities to reasonably good use this match. The jungle offers a lot of cover, and even in an arcade match, if you can manage to get in a position where your enemies don't have their attention focused, you can get in some pretty good sniping action. I'm going to cut around the tail of this down bomber, and I'm thinking, well, this is good cover, but you know, a tank shell probably would punch right through this hull section without much difficulty. So we'll go ahead and abandon this position now, and I'll try to move forward to a better flanking position on the cap. Now they have captured the A point, which is closest to me, and it looks like they're working on the C point, which is too far away for me to do anything about. We've been able to hang on to one capture point this whole match pretty well, but really we're going to have to do a little bit better. This match has been very close so far. Now I see at least one, possibly two player tanks that are retaking this cap. So I'm going to go ahead and push over the top. If I can get there before they see me, we'll do okay. We've got one guy up there duking it out with him. He takes out the target I was going to go for, but there's another Tiger, basically my counterpart up there on top of the hill. Put a shot through his turret, and he looks like he's burning. I'm going to head. I'll put another shot into him there, and I don't get the kill. I get a kill assist, but another Tiger on fire. That seems to be a theme in this match. With any luck, perhaps I'll be able to keep my Tiger from joining them. Now, our situation in this match is going to get pretty bad pretty quick if we don't get this capture point back. And I have a feeling there are a lot of tanks coming out of their spawn right now, so I'm going to slip across as quickly as I can. Yeah, there's a Panzer III already trying to come over the lip of that hill. If he'd pushed right there, he might have had me, but he's a little too tentative, and he can't get enough grunt from his engine to get over the lip of that hill in time to put a shot into it. So he backs off. Now, I've got artillery fire coming in, and I see on the mini-map I have a bunch of enemy tanks coming directly from their cap. I can stay below the lip of this depression here, which will give me pretty good cover from their direct fire, but their artillery is a worry. And there's also a fella I can see on the mini-map flanking me to my left. And I am wide open to him, so I'm going to have to deal with him first. We have air cover coming in, laying waste to that large group of tanks that are coming directly toward the main approach to this cap. I'm going to slap one shot through a barrage of artillery into this guy trying to flank me. Catwitch, I think is his name. He's in a Tiger 2, and up he goes. That was a fairly lucky hit, and another Tiger down. The Tigers in this match are just dropping like flies, but that's okay. It's Tigers on the other team. There's the Panther 3 again. He almost crept over and got a shot to the side of my turret. This turret doesn't have the best traverse speed in the world. He's canny enough, he sees me swing the gun around in his direction, and he stays back. He's making himself an awfully big target, though, on the other side of the rim of this depression, so I don't think he's going to last very long. As a matter of fact, he may have already gone down, which relieves some of the pressure on me. Now, I've been pretty torn up. I'm going to try and get some long-range shots in. Deflected off of that Tiger 2. He's going to be a problem. They're facing me head-on, and I'm going to have difficulty penetrating him. Nope, that Panzer 3 is still there, but at least now I have some support up here with me. I'm getting pretty torn up here, and I'm going to have to take a moment and repair my tank. Artillery barrages are doing repeated damage to me. I can barely move. Now I can't turn my turret. So for at least another few seconds I was going to be fairly helpless. But my repair doesn't take long, which is fortunate. It tries to reload too, and I have to cancel that. Now I'm ready to fight again. And let's see, there's one target available to me. Punch a shot in, but he manages to take it on his front plate. I dodged the return fire, which was probably pretty fortunate. And one more, and the match is about to end. Well, I hit, but don't do anything significant, but that's all right. We held them off, which is what I needed to do. I was determined I wasn't going to let them retake that cap, and it paid off in the end. We were able to hold out long enough to win the match. So, are German tanks at a disadvantage now? I don't know. Mixed results out of that match. I did pretty well in a German tank, but most of my targets, most of my victims were in German tanks as well. So what does that tell you? I don't know. That's all I've got for you for the moment. Until I see you again, good hunting.